happening, guys? It's Dean from Electronisounds. Stick around. Today, we're going to be checking out a brand new shimmer reverb from BLEASS. I've prepared quite a few examples of what this beauty sounds like, and by the end of this video, you're going to have a really good idea of what it will do for your sound. Come on, let's get into this. This example starts off with a drum loop that I've imported from my Devious Dub Techno library. Next up, we have a couple of hi-hats that are coming out of the Digistix drummer amp. Next up from that, we've got a couple of more hi-hats coming out of the Axon 2 amp from Audio Damage. That's, let's see here. Next up, we've got the Retro Piano amp coming in from Audio Kit. This is a brand new free amp, and if you haven't picked this one up, I definitely suggest picking this one up. We've got the Retro Piano being sequenced from the Cells sequencer from Brambos. This is being run through, the Retro Piano rather, is being run through the new Woot from Brambos, and this is sort of a dynamic multi-band compression effect. And after that, we're going into the new BLEASS Shimmer reverb effect to give some life to these piano chords. In fact, this is really the whole life of this dub techno groove, is really coming out of the piano and what the shimmer effect is doing that. Last but not least here, I'm running the Rough Rider 3 compressor from Audio Damage at the end of this chain, just to sort of glue all the effects into that piano sound. Over here on the master bus, I'm just running this into a little EQ with a little bit of a boost around 2K, and then lastly we're going into the limiter here from Amazing Noises, I believe. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to direct sound, and I'll play you guys what this sounds like. We're going to start with the clean, with the shimmer effect off, so you can get an idea of what the groove sounds like. And then we're going to turn that on, and I want you to listen to just how much that transforms the vibe of the overall groove. This next example is sort of a quick lo-fi synth wave example. I started out with just a kick drum sequenced in the Playbeat app. Next I brought up the Ting app from Clevger or Clevgrand. This is a found sound percussion app. Next we've got the Synth Master 1 synthesizer bringing a little bit of melodics to this. What I've done is I've used the shimmer reverb from BLEASS here to bring some life to the drums and the percussion. Let me switch to direct sound and we'll show you what this sounds like. It takes a lot of work and effort to make all of these videos. If you've been enjoying my content, I'd like to encourage you to hit the little like button on this video right here. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for your support. For this example, we're in Beatmaker 3, and I've created sort of a dub techno groove using a lot of the sounds from my free 6K subscribers pack for Beatmaker 3. If you missed those presets, I'm going to put a link up in the corner so you can grab some more free sounds for Beatmaker 3. In this example, the BLEASS Shimmer effect is really adding a lot of life and character and dimension to this whole groove. I'm going to switch to direct sound, and I'm going to play the whole groove for you with the shimmer reverb, and then I'm going to turn that off, and you're going to hear like the life just kind of dry up in that, and then we'll turn it back on, and you'll hear how the shimmer reverb is just sort of adding a life and a dimension to the whole element of this dub techno groove. Check this out. Okay, so what is the BLEASS Shimmer Reverb anyway? Let's check out this signal flow here and see what it's actually bringing to the table and doing to your sound. We start off the signal path with a filter effect so that you can high pass the low frequency content from what's going into the reverb so that you don't end up with a lot of different mud in your reverb. You've got two sorts of filter envelopes that you can choose from here so that you can really shape the kind of sound that you would like to be entering into the chain. Next up, your sound is going to go through a gain stage, which allows you to add up to 12 decibels of gain in that signal. I found this really handy when working with the shimmer effect. Next up, you've got a pre-delay, which literally delays when the reverb hits from the transient attack. So however many milliseconds you've got in the pre-delay, up to 200 milliseconds of pre-delay, that's how much the actual reverb signal is going to be delayed from when the transient strikes that signal. This is really handy for creating rhythmic effects that can be locked to the rhythm of your tempo. If you look up the milliseconds timing of your project, you can sync that, by setting that to the right, millisecond setting. Next up, we've got these two pitch shifters so that you can shift the pitch of the incoming signal from as low as -2 octaves all the way up to +2 octaves. Both of the shifters work this way, and they work independently of each other. You've also got an amount, basically a dry wet of each of those pitch shifting. So if we've got these, down to 0, we're just getting plain reverb without any actual pitch shifting happening in that reverb. Next up, we've got the actual little reverb panel, which provides you with some room size. You can color the reverb to get a more darker sounding reverb or a brighter sounding reverb. You can make a long reverb up to 30 seconds, or we can go, all the way down to 200 milliseconds. Got a little bit of a modulation on that so that you can adjust how much modulation you might like and the speed of that modulation. Next up, we've got a ducker, which as you pull down on the threshold is going to provide a slight ducking effect every time your transient, triggers the reverb, so that let's say you want to have this on a sound with a sharp transient. This is the ducker per se is going to keep that transient, that attack of the sound intact, and duck the reverb just a little bit gently so that it doesn't actually overwhelm and sink the transient of your sound, so that the punchiness of your sound still comes through. This ducker is a super neat addition to the BLEASS Shimmer here. Last but not least, we've got your dry wet, so that if you want to run this on an insert channel, directly after effect, you might have it, pretty low on the dry wet, whereas if you're running this on, say, a send, you might have this all the way up to 100% dry wet. Okay, let's move on. This one is sort of a breakbeat example inside of Beatmaker 3. I programmed a quick drum beat, added a bass line to that, and then I've taken some synthesizer loops and I've chopped those up. These are like a formant chop, and that's like a synthesizer that has like a vocal sort of attribute to it. Let me switch to direct sound and we'll play you what this one sounds like. This one's kind of a 303 techno / psytrance groove, and the shimmer reverb really brings life to the whole groove. I'm going to play this one, and then about halfway through, we're going to turn the shimmer effect on and off, and you're going to hear what a dramatic effect and what sort of life that's really bringing to this groove. This next example features a drum loop that I've loaded into Beatmaker 3, and then over that I'm going to play one of my favorite presets to play in Beatmaker 3. It's the Chiptune Strings preset, which is available in my free 6K subscriber pack, so make sure you pick that up. What I want you to listen for here is literally the life that the shimmer reverb brings to this sound. We're going to play it dry real quick, and then I'm going to turn the shimmer reverb on, and you'll hear just what a life it's bringing to this sound. This one is kind of like a lo-fi trip-hop example, and it starts with the drum loop. We add to that a sub-bass 808 with the preset DJ Puzzle Gucci Kick. Great preset. That's being sequenced from the bassline sequencer from Brambos Rosetta. And over the top of this groove, I'm going to play a little synth line with the Yonak Caspar synthesizer, which is being run into the Shimmer reverb. Let's switch over to direct sound and we'll check this one out. Okay, so what's the final verdict on the Shimmer reverb from BLEASS? Is it awesome? Do you need it? Well, I found it to be pretty inspiring to work with for creative sound design, and I hope that the examples in this video gave you a really good idea of what it will do for your sound. Until next time, thanks for watching.